take the joy that you have, look for the sparkles that God has for you and the splashes of joy, and be glad that you have them. Don't expect your mate or whoever your joy robber is to have the same experiences you have, because I wasted too much time and too many experiences that way, because we don't get happy over the same things. In fact, he gets embarrassed over so many things. I was in Atlanta by myself some time back, and I'd done a program somewhere there, and my luggage had already gone to California, and I was getting excited to go home, and then they announced on the loudspeaker all the DC-10s were canceled. And they said, go to your airlines, and they'll tell you what to do. What to do? I went to United Airlines, and I said, my luggage is already gone. And they said, well, we're sorry. There are no DC-10s flying for 3 days. There's nothing out of Atlanta. But we'll give you a little paper nightgown and a little toothbrush. And you can stay here. We'll pay for you to go 3 days at a hotel. Well, I don't know anybody in Atlanta. What am I going to do for 3 days in Atlanta? So I called Bill and I said, well, don't meet the plane because the DC-10s are canceled and I'm stuck here with a little paper gown and a toothbrush for 3 days. So I went to the motel, and it was at night, so I got ready to go to bed, and I washed my pantyhose and washed my slip and washed my face, and that's all I had, and got ready to go to bed. Just as I had done all that, the airlines called, and they said, there is one flight leaving in 20 minutes for California, the last flight out of here. And if you can be here in 20 minutes, we'll send a shuttle for you and you can be on. Otherwise, there's nothing for 3 days. I said, hold the plane. I will be on that plane. And I looked at my pantyhose, all dripping wet. Tried to wrap them up in a towel and get as much water out as I could. And if you've ever tried to get wet pantyhose on a fat, dry body, it ain't easy. But somehow I got them on. And then I had to get my wet feet in these suede shoes. Makes your teeth itch to think of it. And then my slip, all the lace was dripping. I tried to wring out the lace and get the slip on so I could get the slip on, get myself together, forget the makeup, had to go the way I was. And as I was running down the runway, I'm dripping water. And I knew that when I sat in the seat, I would leave a big spot in the seat. But anyway, I did all that. I got on the plane, I did all that, and I got home, and well, now wouldn't you think he'd say, oh, honey, I'm glad you got home 3 days early. But after I told him my whole story, he said, oh, you left a spot in the seat. And I said, well, you should have seen the water I left on the runway, He just gets embarrassed over that. But see, it's not his story, it's my story. And then shortly after that, I had to speak in a little town called Lomita near where we live, and it was around April Fool's Day. I told you I love the first of the month, and I have a friend that works at Knott's Berry Farm, and she works in the novelty department. She's always playing jokes on me, but anyway, she gave me a pair of pantyhose, and I was in a hurry to go, and I put them on, and it came up like this. Like a sarong. In fact, Bill said, that looks like a sarong you have on. And I said, well, I don't have time to change. I got to go spread my joy, so I just wear them, So I went over there to speak, and I had a V-neck dress on, and I'm telling my story, and all of a sudden, I see something brown. It's creeping up here. And it was creeping up like a muff around my neck. I could have pulled it over my head and tied it with a bow. Well, it was 100% spandex. I never heard of that. But it creeps north, see? So here I had this big bunch of brown stuff, and I had to decide what to do. I mean, it looked like I had a growth coming out of here. So I had to stop my story and explain to the people what happened. I don't know how this happened. I didn't know this kind of happened. But I said, he said, you shouldn't tell that. I mean, it shouldn't tell that story because it embarrasses him. Well, it doesn't embarrass me. And all of you women have had some kind of a pantyhose story.